Do you guys know when the first competition is for like in person or online?
I think the first confirmed invitational is January 31st.
Okay, that's great. So I wait, do you guys already do the invitational that you do on like your computers?
Not yet.
Okay. So for um the in-person invitational, we'll have all our ciphers done. But I remember from last year, I don't think that we will have enough time to prepare this year for the online one, but you guys will have a good amount of ciphers, so it's okay. And then a quick review of what we did last meeting. So we just did reminders on checking homework and that the answer keys for homework, we'll always check it in class, so I won't give it out unless like it's a specific situation. And then yeah, and then we also learned the nihilist cipher last time. So this time we are going to be learning a new cipher. And then when everybody can they get out their homework and then once they got it up, put a thumbs up like in the emoji or whatever. Okay, so talking about the in-person test, we'll have our first in-person test during week 6. So I'll be giving your partners today so you can start preparing together early. And you can reach out to your partner during the Thursday meetings at school. So that's a great way to communicate with your partner. And the in-person test, I haven't exactly confirmed the exact date, but we can work together on fixing a perfect time for everybody to attend. And then the partners, so will be mixed up. So there will be 2 people per group, so 3 groups in total. And this way we can strengthen your individual skills and make sure you can work with anyone and not just your usual 2 partners. So sometimes you might, I think some of you will get partnered up with a person on a different team. And then for week 8, a major test. So this test, you'll work with your normal 2 partners of like teams of 3. And then this one, it's a lot bigger. So there will be a lot more ciphers because we'll learn like a lot more ciphers by week 8. And then the goal is to make a feel of like a real competition and to show time limits and teamwork. So let's go on to the wheel now. Okay. And then make sure to remember who you get. And if you have any questions on this, feel free to ask me in the chat. Okay, so how it works is Mengfei, he got chosen, so then I would spin again and then see who he would get partnered up with. And then his partner is Hemant, so you guys will be partners for the practice test on the 6th week. So make sure to keep
Okay.
that. Yeah. And then next is Ananya. I don't think she's here today, so whoever her partner is, just let her know. I'll let her know too. And then Ananya got paired up with Raj, so then you guys will be partners. And then Keel and Kashvi, you guys are partners. So make sure to contact both your partners. Okay. And then now a reminder for homework. So this is an easy way you can do your homework. And I did this by using the Cami app. So we did talk about that during the last meeting. So there is a slide that is dedicated to how to get onto the Cami. And remember that you can log in with it on your school account because it's already built in. So you don't need to download it again. Okay, so now let's check our homework. So I assume that everybody has their homework ready. So can someone tell me the answer for number 1?
If you care about something enough, you'll find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, and then can somebody answer number 2? Anyone can. Hemant, did you do number 2? Can you answer it for us?
Actually, I didn't get a chance to number 2.
Okay, that's all right. Kashvi, did you do number 2?
I was able to do number 1, but not the other one.
Okay, that's okay. Raj, were you able to do number 2?
That's crazy. I wasn't able to either.
Okay,
I can try to do it on the side right now. 1 second.
right, so this one we can try to cover over the next meeting, but the answer is if you guys want it, you cannot truly listen to anyone and do anything else at the same time. I see that this one is, yeah, this one, that's the answer. And then for number 3, did anyone do number 3?
One of the greatest pieces of economic wisdom is to know what you don't know. You do not know.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone for number 4?
I was actually a little confused on that one.
Okay.
That was number 5.
You mean number 5?
I was confused on how to do that because I think I made a mistake, but I don't know where.
Okay. Okay, then I'll just say the answer. So sometimes you must just a second. Sometimes you must I think it was dangle your feet in the water to attract the sharks. Yeah. Okay, I see where that might be confusing, but does it make sense now?
Yeah, I got like the SO, and then after that, I got a little bit confused.
Okay. So can anyone finish up number 5 and 6? Anyone for number 5? Was number 5 something that nobody answered? Kashvi, were you able to answer number 5?
No, I didn't know that the homework and the practice tests were two separate things.
Oh, okay. That's alright. Hemant and Viraj, were you guys able to?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. So that one is, it's not where you live your life, it's how you live your life that matters more. So if you wanted the answer for that one. And then number 6, can anyone say that? Okay, so that one, I'll just say the answer. So my friends don't seem to be friends at all, but people whose phone numbers I haven't lost. So, you wanted the answer for that. Okay. And then reminder, homework is a resource for you, not something that is collected. Use it to practice, prepare for class, and build confidence for the practice test. We go over homework together in class. So usually I won't give the answer keys, most likely. And then I won't check it. So the practice test is the only thing that I will actually grade. So the homework, if you don't finish it, then it's just not a supported resource for you. But if you don't finish it, like nothing will happen. So yeah. And then can anyone help read the first portion? Kashvi, can you help read the stay organized portion?
Stay organized. Keep all your homework, practice tests, and notes in one folder, either physical or digital. Make sure everything is clearly labeled with the date and cipher type. Use a planner, calendar, or reminder app to track all your deadlines for homework, practice tests, and in-person tests.
Yeah. So the prepare sheet, it's basically going to be like this. I will keep all the information that you need to know. And then this is a preview of it. I will post it after today's meeting. And the prepare sheet will consist of all the links to everything. So if you can't find the links, like when I send it out to your emails, the prepare sheet should just be a source that you can rely on to look at something throughout the whole year. Okay. Akil, can you read the second portion?
Practice consistently. Don't rely only on your partner for answers. Try solving ciphers on your own first. After completing homework or a practice test, review any mistakes to learn from them. Use previous tests and homework as reference material for upcoming challenges. Communicate clearly and fairly with your partners and share strategies while making sure you're also solving independently.
Yeah. So that is a reminder. Remembering that throughout the entire year will most definitely help you, especially last year on this certain Science Olympiad topic in Codebusters. I specifically remember that if my partners didn't support me, then it would have been a lot harder. But I fortunately did get really good partners, but I did notice that teams from other schools that performed lower, their partners weren't helping, and it was just a one person effort. So it is 100% if all 3 people participate equally. Okay. Hey mom, can you read the third portion?
Track your progress. Keep a log of your scores from practice tests and class challenges. Celebrate improvements and note areas for extra practice. Make sure to use the links folder to access all practice tests, videos, and other resources throughout the year.
Yeah, and then that's what I said. The prepare sheet will be posted after today. So today and then something to note, Akil. So what we do every week is we learn a new cipher. So this is our third cipher of the year. Today we're gonna solve the checkerboard cipher. So this is a really brand new cipher for the 2025 through 2026 season. It was not there last year, so it's really brand new. So to find resources for it, it will be a lot harder. And that's why it's important to make sure you pay attention in today's class so then you can thoroughly understand it throughout the entire year. And then the difficulty level is medium. It's not too hard. It is kind of like a combination of the nihilist cipher and the Porta cipher. The nihilist cipher is because it involves a 5x5 Polybius grid like the nihilist cipher we learned in last class. So it will really help you guys if you guys are doing well on the nihilist cipher. Understanding that will most definitely help you on the checkerboard cipher. And then for those of you who don't really get the nihilist cipher, it's all right. I will teach that part today as well. And then it will be on an average around 200 to 300 points. So that's not a lot. Usually it won't be like a bonus question. So most bonus questions will actually be nihilist ones because they are on the longer side, but checkerboard ciphers, usually 200 to 300 points and sometimes even less than 200. Like in this one, it's only 102 points, and this one is a medium level length. And then for the time, right now you guys don't have to be like 5 to 7 minutes, but in the future, you guys should easily do this in 5 to 7 minutes. So this should be one of the really easier ciphers. And then something to note is that the first letter of the text will be the row and the second letter will be the column. And we also get a Polybius key of specialty over here. So as you guys can see, like try to think back to the nihilist cipher, we did get specialty, a Polybius keyword, but this time we won't be given a normal keyword, so we have to create our own keywords. So one keyword for row and one keyword for column. And I'll teach you guys how to make that on the next slide. So if you haven't already, get your papers and pencils ready. So whenever I write like the notes, so like the next continuing and following slides, you guys should be taking notes on that. So let's start off with step number 1. So step number 1 is to fill out the 5x5 table with the Polybius keyword. And then remember to start with the keyword and then fill out the rest of the letters, starting with A. If it's already taken, move on to B, and then so on. In the table, I and J will be grouped in the same box since J is rarely ever used. So this is also another relation back to the nihilist cipher. So if you guys remember, like how I said that I and J would be in the same exact box. And this is also because, not only because it's rarely ever used, because it's a 5x5 grid, meaning there are 25 boxes, but there are 26 letters in the alphabet. So that means that one box will contain both letters, and that would be I and J. So once you guys are finished writing the notes, go ahead and put a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, so let's continue on to write this. So make sure you guys write the whole entire thing and then also draw this along with how I'm gonna do it. Okay, so we would first fill out the keyword. So as we know, the keyword would be specialty, so let's fill it out. So this is how we would fill it out. And then, so now since we already used A, we would continue on to B. Does that make sense to you, Akil? Okay. So that's good, that makes sense. And then after that, after B, we would continue on to D. So you guys probably already know this, so we go, and then since we have the next one, so can anyone tell me the letters from D to the end over here?
It would be F, G, H, K, M, N, O, Q, R, U, V, W, X, Z.
Great job. So that's how we fill it in. And then one thing to keep note of is we go from this way to this way. So we will fill in our keywords, so then we'll go like that. Okay. Let me move on to the next slide. Okay. So can everybody take note of this? Let me erase what I did. Okay. So can you take note of the arrows with everything, because this will be helpful if you forget in the future. And then once you're done, go ahead and keep up a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, so step number 2 is there are going to be 2 keywords, one that goes on the top and one that goes on the left. To find the row letter, we need to look at the first letter for each group in the ciphertext. And remember, they need to be unique. So if you get like FS, you wouldn't take F twice. And then find the column letters with the second letter of each group in the ciphertext. Try to make an actual word out of those 5 letters. Then fill in the row and column. Okay, so it might be a bit confusing, but when you think about row and column, we know that usually when I first saw the cipher, I thought this was the row, but try not to be mistaken by that. Just think, if you want to remember in the future, the top will always be the column, so you need to think about this table like this way, and then the row will be it will be letters like this. So for example, like this, then it will go horizontally. So that's something to keep in mind and not to get confused upon. And then, so a tip is that we always have to have a total of 5-letter keywords. And if it's not, for example, if it's a 4-letter keyword, then one of the letters would be repeated. And if you're probably wondering, how do we make sense out of this? For example, if we had a word of foods, so we would use O twice, and you would probably make sense of that because it's a common word used. So then you just have to make sense out of what the word could be deciphered out to. And then you can just experiment from there. And then a note is sometimes we will have different options for the keywords. So try the first and then move on to the second one if it doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's try to think of the keyword for row. So row, as you guys can see, row is the first letter and column is the second letter. And as you can see over here, I put it in arrows as well. So first we have F, and then we have K, and then we have A. As you guys can see, I'm skipping the ones that are already used. So then we have E, and then the last one I think that we have is D. So everything else, so then we would get F, K, A, E, D. So this one is pretty obvious of what it's gonna be. It's gonna be baked, right? So we're going to, let's go back to this slide. So if it's this one, so then let's go ahead and write baked over here. Okay, so I would write it in order. I wouldn't write it in like F, K, and then I would write it in the order of what the actual word is. And then you will get a random one, so you kind of have to figure out what it will make sense of. So now let's try to do the second one, the column. So now as you can see, we have S, O, and then K, R, and then C. So I can think of, so we have S, K, O, R, C. So there are two words I can think of when I think of this, and one of them is corks, and another one is rocks. So I don't know if you guys can think of anything else, but so you can see that we have two different options this time. So now I'm going to show you guys how you experiment to whether to use the first or second one. So you just have to try the first one and then move on to the second one if it doesn't make sense. So in this one, let's just try rocks first, and then, so let's put rocks over here. So now this would be what we finalize. So we have faked and rocks. So let's move on to slide number 2. So now can everyone make sure to write step number 3? And then everybody got the second slide. If not, if you guys don't finish your notes, then you can just ask me to stop, or you guys can always look back at the slides because I do share these. So let's try it. So now we're gonna decode by putting the first letter to the row on the left side and then the second letter to the column on the top part. So the letter that results in the decoded plain text, and then keep going until the end of the cipher. So for example, let's do this. So we know this is a cipher text, FSKO, FSKKARKR. So now we can decode that. So we know that there's F, and then we would look, where is S? So we look all the way over here. And then remember that row, the first one, the left side, is always going to be first. And then the top part is second. Also, if you guys remember from the Porta cipher that we learned in the first week, this was something that we remembered as well. So FS, we result in IJ, and then KO, that would result in F, and then FS again, we already know that, IJ. Then remember I wrote I/J because it's something that we learned before, right? Where I and J would be in the same box. So then let's go to K.